Premiership Window, Jason. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but it's revolutionised the football discussion. We trot it out only once a month. That's how powerful it is. If we were to do it every week, it'd be too much for most people. But this is after round 12, and as it sits right now, you want to be in the green part, the top 6 for offence and top 6 for points conceded against, and there is only 2 teams in there.
Just the 2 teams in again.
The outright favourite, which is the Sydney Swans, and the Bulldogs of all teams. This could be the greatest challenge the Window's ever faced right now, because there are some teams there, Chief. Essendon Footy Club are obviously second on the ladder, but they're neither top 6 for either. And you can see Carlton and Geelong there just sliding outwards in terms of offence. So what do you make of it?
Well, it normally delivers the Premier, doesn't it? But there are exceptions to every rule. And you're right, maybe it is the case this year. There's a possibility of an upset. But Sydney, to me, do look head and shoulders above everybody else in the competition. The brand that they're playing, the consistency with which they're playing it. So I think it speaks volumes that the rest of the pack's chasing, basically.
Well, the Window was ahead of the rest of the football world with the Bulldogs, though, because they were in the Premiership Window a month ago.
Well, everyone's potting them.
And, and I think they'd only just knocked over Richmond or heading into that game. But their last month's been exceptional, and second highest percentage, or give or take, in the competition at the moment. So
all credit to the Bulldogs, and we'll get to the Bulldogs as well. But let's just give Fremantle their dues. Been under pressure. A lot of people are wanting to tell Fremantle how they should play, how they should be coached, their method of ball movement. The whole footy world tried to tell them. Justin Longmuir would appear stuck pretty true, and you were a great supporter. And I don't know, look, they might have been that bad, Melbourne, on the weekend, but their ability to move the footy, their back half settled, they've got most things in place, Fremantle. Now, we need to see it again, because you can only beat what's in front of you, and there was nothing on the weekend, but they're in reasonable nick.
Yeah, they have, and they've built from the defence back, the defence forward. So Sam Switkowski was asked around what would the coach be happier with, and he definitely said, rather than the big score 4, he said it'd definitely be our defensive efforts against. And that back 6, Alex Pearce has had a fantastic first half of the year. Jordan Clark, I reckon, is in career best form. There's a guy, Luke Ryan, who just keeps getting it done. He's probably been a sneaky sort of third tall option, intercept marker for a long time, but his numbers definitely stack up.
So, Jace, Tom Stewart's form's just dropped off a bit on the basis that clubs finally belatedly said, right, enough. This guy needs the Tom Stewart treatment.
Of course he does. Of course he does. And why are clubs so slow to react to these numbers?
He's had 27 touches on the weekend, 2 contested, 25 uncontested, and
that's the thing.
Took 18 uncontested marks.
Yeah, so he'll take a lot of intercept marks, he reads the play well, but it's what he does in attack, springboarding the turnover, and that's where you get hurt, because he makes really good decisions with the ball once he wins it. He'll know when to hold it up, when to stay it up, when he need to pull up and just settle. He knows when to go quick, and he'll make good decisions. He's got good skills. And you're crazy if you're not putting time into it.
I don't know who they play this week. Someone will tell me in my ear. They've got the bye this week. Well, the weekend after, please, someone, go to look.
You guys know, he seems to be one of those defenders that even one-on-one, he positions himself so his direct opponent is pretty much ineffective. Yeah. He can't win the ball, but he's in a really good position to impact another contest or support a teammate.
Sarong Brayshaw, fantastic. Young continues to win the plaudits. A guy called Sam Switkowski, who 4 years ago doing this show, the champion data people we work with and respect said this bloke is an elite forward. Put him up. Him and Dylan Moore as elite forwards 4 years ago. Got laughed out of town. They said, champion data, what is this nonsense? And Dylan Moore just had a best on ground the weekend. Sam said Switkowski was unbelievable.
Yeah. But you said, what was the coach happy with? He would have been happy with Sam Switkowski.
Yeah.
To me, he's one of those quintessential workhorse role players that does the job for you every week. Reminds me of Alex Neil-Bullen at Melbourne. You rely on them. They will put the pressure on, they'll tackle, they'll do all the team things. If a teammate gets caught out, he'll cover. He'll pressure the defender that's got away and that's starting to rebound. But he's also hitting the scoreboard. His ability to get involved in scoring change, but also to have direct score assists, it's supreme, isn't it? But all we want to do is talk about the stars of the game. We don't talk about these guys enough.
We loved him. Well done on the weekend. Chief, what was your big question for the weekend?
Well, I won't go with you because I know you've been an international coach, but it's a different game. I want to speak to Bucks, who's coached at this level. Tell me yes or no. Is pressure effort-based?
Mostly, yes.
Right. I'm about to show... Don't show it yet. I'm about to show you a ladder which has the respective... It's basically a ladder of the best pressure teams to the bottom pressure teams. I would have thought the one non-negotiable as a coach demanding, if you're coaching a bottom team, why can't you be one of the best pressure teams? So let's have a look at this ladder and get a really good idea of what's happening now. Look down the bottom. You got North, you got West Coast, you got Richmond. 3 of the bottom teams in the competition are the bottom pressure ratings. Now, I'm not suggesting you can match them in skill or class or star player factor, but sure as hell you can match them in pressure. And what it also tells us, this ladder, and the stats will tell you that the team that wins the pressure battle wins 74% of games. So I'm not saying you're going to win a hell of a lot more games because you're not good enough. But the games will be closer, Gaz. A hell of a lot closer. They'll be competitive.
Can I talk yet?
Well, you played a different game. Go on. What is it?
No,
I said mostly. There still is a lot of system in the ability to maintain high pressure for long periods of time.
Yep.
And I think the better pressure teams are the teams that can maintain that structure and system and do it efficiently and effectively whilst maintaining that rage of effort.
Well, Richmond's performance on the weekend on the back of pressure was as good as they've had all year.
Yes.
Against Geelong.
And you know when they lost it? When Geelong upped their pressure, all of a sudden the game turned because Geelong went feral with their pressure, went through the roof and they dominated.
The arm wrestle for pressure on ball is the ability to get through tackles and be harder and cleaner with your hands to go from the inside to the outside. Some teams are better at that than others, which buffers pressure. So I like your argument.
It's a frustration.
I like your argument.
Yeah.
All you want to see is
it's not quite
effort.
as simple, is it?
Well, so I think I picked up last week the sweat on the brow of the North Melbourne players coming off at half time.
Yep.
That's all you want to see, even if the pressure number's not great.
Yep, agree. What about your big question?
Oh, the Bulldogs and Collingwood, talk about positive. Two of the absolute superstars. We know the Pies were brave and Craig McRae not making any excuses as he always does, but the Doggies finally got there, and then there was drama with Sam Darcy at the start, and then in the end the Bulldogs led by the Bont after the Nick had put the big challenge to them early, and they got over the line.
Star factor competition, and when they turn up big these days. And Marcus Bontempelli, you just had to see the game to believe it, really. I mean, 38 disposals, 10 clearances, 8 score involvements, and 2 big goals. I just love him when he's like this. I love when he's emotional and invested and prepared to go head-to-head with the opposition's best player, who was out of control at that stage, Nick Daicos. Look at that. I mean, you just got to appreciate what this guy is. And they've been on the canvas for a few weeks, the Dogs, and somehow they've found a way. Everyone was coming for Bevo for a while there, and they're back in the hunt now, and they're looking really dangerous. I know they've got some returning stars over the next few weeks, and they're going to get healthier and they're going to get better. They're going to be a tough proposition in the back half of the year now, the Dogs.
You think they'll make it?
I think they'll make it. Don't snooze on it. Don't have a bad night against the Dogs, because the younger players have elevated, and their stars are still playing at the top level.
And the scores from stoppages, like we're talking about a midfield in Collingwood who's dynamic and the clearance game is really strong, but scores from stoppages, 45 points, the Doggies. Like that's the second worst result for Collingwood for the year. So they dominated through that middle of the ground. Bontempelli, just on him quickly, I love the fact he's like Banger Harvey used to look exhausted, then run a half marathon. He just gets up when the moments are there. Like, that's what a leader does. Just get on the back and I'll take you over the line. I'll throw you over the line. That's a leader.
And the hair's getting a bit woollier too. Sam Darcy's response I thought was great too. So, and good to see Luke get so excited watching on. What about Nick? We can't have a show without Nick Daicos, Kingy, I don't think.
Well, if he plays like that, you've got to show him. I mean, it'd be a weird show if you didn't show the best player on the ground, Hutto, but, you know,
We've done that before.
maybe do that if you like. But I'm going to show him because he's the best centre-bounce clearance player I've seen. And,
Wow.
and I don't know of anyone. Well, go back to Chris Judd. Who else has done this? Who else has done in this fashion? Like, look at the others are blocking him out. They're giving him full runners, effectively a one-on-one. It's not a 4v4 in there. They're boxing out for him, and he's the best loose ball get player in the comp. So he's hunting after it. Players are having a grab on him. He's got a tag with him in Gallagher. Look, he's just doing it, and he's had 31 centre-bounce clearances since round 4 when they put him in there. To be the man, which is the AFL's best. Elliot Yeo's created more scores from his clearances, but what he's doing has to be recognised. A record 25 first possessions, 16 clearances. I mean, this guy's gone from a ball user to a ball winner in the space of 1 year. I can't remember a player that's done that. Like top 2 or 3 in the comp last year for ball use, impact in games, qualified as ball use, damage points if you like. And now he's top 3 or 4 in the comp for ball winning. Well, you just don't see that. I challenge you to come up with a player that's done that. There's some have improved their kicking and that sort of stuff, but not the way this guy's gone the other way.
I actually felt it was only until the Bont actually put the defensive pressure on him. So someone of his size and stature that they could quell him at all. So, yeah, it's hard to argue with you, King.